All right, welcome to the District 2 Sports Podcast. And today we're joined once again by Coach Vince Luvara, head football coach of the Hampden-Sydney Tigers, now entering his second season leading the program. Coach Luvara has continued to build on the proud tradition of Hampden-Sydney football. We're pleased to have him back again. Coach, how's it going today?
It's good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Well, Coach, we do appreciate it. I know you're a busy guy, like I was saying before. I did want to ask you a couple questions about yourself going to the second season. How's your comfort level changed now that you've had a full year to establish your system and expectations for the players and coaches? And then also for you personally, what are some the biggest differences you're kind of pulling in from year one to year two?
I think the big thing is, like, I know the guys better. The guys know me better. They know how we want to operate, the speed we want to operate at, how we want things to be done. There's just a higher level of comfort, I guess, which is probably to be expected. And, not running 1,000,000 miles per hour, this year like we were last year. So just been, it's been a lot smoother so far.
And do you think like just having another year in the system, like I said, the players will know you better, coach? You've hired some more coaches too in the offseason too. Is that just guys you knew well, or is something that you wanted to kind of implement some more?
Our guys have, so the guys we had got, better jobs. I mean, happy for them. I mean, that's part of the profession. Ryan Wilson, was our offensive coordinator. Ryan and I coached W&J together. He got a really good opportunity to go back to ODU, and, he would have been stupid to pass it up. And Josh Baker was coaching our tight ends, got the offensive coordinator job at Guilford. So, I mean, it wasn't by plan or anything like that. It just happened. And, we're really happy for those guys. And we were able to bring in, some good guys to replace them. And they've been doing a great job so far.
Coach, I get this question in before Big Greg does.
Coach, I know you played in a different Oh, my bad.
Go ahead.
Am I going, Gregory?
You got it.
Okay, I didn't want to step on nobody. So, Coach, I know you played in a different conference, but I mean, I know I probably put the ODAC first in everything, I guess, and especially in D3. But I mean, was there a major difference in playing and coaching in the conference for the first time? And what did it meet all your expectations, or what was the overall experience?
I think the great thing about the ODAC is there really isn't a bad team. I mean, you just look at like where the teams did out of conference, in conference. I mean, Guilford didn't win a game in the conference, and they were 3-0 out of conference last year. So it's the middle of the ODAC is as competitive, right now as anything. You can finish from anywhere from second to sixth, and it's a game difference, between those two. And the whole league's competitive, top to bottom. It's hard for me to compare. The league I was in before had more teams, and you didn't play everyone every year. Some years you played everyone, some years you didn't. It just depended on the schedule work. And so it's two different conferences. W&J, who we played week 2, where I was at, they played Randolph-Macon in the second round of the playoffs last year, and it was a really good game. So I don't think there's too much of a difference between the two conferences. I think they're both really competitive, and it's just, you're in a different region, so you're in a different league, I guess. That's the only difference.
So saying what you just said, and I don't want to throw salt on the wound whatsoever when I ask you this, but I mean, do you at all feel slighted with I guess a preseason finish of 5? I mean, I know preseason rankings are, I know what they're like. I know that things change during the season, but I mean, do you feel slighted whatsoever?
No, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't care about it. I don't. It's only the coaches vote. You can't vote for your own team. I don't care, what any of the other coaches in the league think about us, and I don't think they should care what I think about them. So no, I don't care about the preseason bowl, or guys don't care about it. I think it's cool they do it, but you see, like, the Big Ten's never done a preseason poll. Pac-12 got rid of their preseason poll this year because it doesn't really mean anything. You still got to prove it. It's a reward from last season where you finished, and it's probably, if you ranked us off of last season, that's probably where you should put us.
Well, I just want to reiterate, I did pick you 2, and the only reason why I didn't pick you 1, let's get that straight now, is because Pedro joined us first. That's the only reason why I figured first come, first serve. That's the only reason why.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot longer than me too, so you can give him that too.
Well, Coach, I want to go back to year 1. This is the question I want to get in before Big Ray says something about it, but we were at the game last year at home against Randolph Macon, and what an atmosphere it was for Division III. I think it was over 10,000 people in attendance. I believe you guys averaged around 6,000 per home game last year as well, which is really good for D3. So, what were you able to learn about the Hampden-Sydney program, the culture, and the fan base after year 1?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the most, I wouldn't say important, but it's like the biggest thing that happens here on a Saturday. They come in from all over. There's a different buzz on campus when they paint the field on Friday, and the weather's nice and the guys are out. And I don't think there's a Division III program out there that alumni support their team as much as Hampden-Sydney alumni do. I mean, we have 900 and some students that go to school here, and we're averaging about 6,000 people at a home football game. That tells you how important football is to a lot of people here, and I knew that when I got here. I mean, historically, we've drawn in the top 5 in the country every year in attendance. When we have that game at home, we're probably closer to 1 than we are at 5. But it's a really cool game, really cool atmosphere. It kind of exceeded my expectations a little bit because they talk about it, but until you see it, you don't really understand how big it is. And we warmed up on the practice field that day because it's senior day and we do Tiger Walk, and they were parking cars all the way back on the practice fields. And it was just cool. It was a cool environment. It's a really cool game. It's a really great thing for Division III athletics. And, our guys really enjoy it.
I did want to revisit last year. I guess guys go 5-5, 3-4 in the conference. I think you start off 3-1, had 2 tough losses right there in the middle in ODAC play. Then I had a huge win there at Bridgewater as well. I thought that was a pretty good game right there. And then had 2 tough ones against Shenandoah and Randolph Macon to end the year. What did you think about the team last year, and what do you have coming back next year?
I mean, based off our record, we were average. We were the definition of average. We were 5-5. We have to get better. We have to get better on the defensive side of the ball, especially offensively. We were pretty talented last year. I think we scored on 9 of our 10 opening drives of the year. So we were able to start fast in the majority of our games. But, we just got to get better on the defensive side of the ball. We were a young football team last year. I mean, there's no question about it. I mean, we started 8 freshmen in our last game. 3 of our 5 captains were juniors last year. So, we're really excited about the future here. Our incoming freshman class is extremely talented, which is crazy because our one last year was really talented too. And this one might be more talented, which is a good thing. But, we're really excited about the future. I mean, last year was, one point in the season, we probably thought we were going 9-1. At the other point in the season, we probably thought we were going, 3-7. So that's probably, the definition of a 5-5 football team. But we learned a lot. We learned a lot about ourselves. And, as long as we continue to grow, we'll be happy with the results.
Coach, just kind of a tongue-in-cheek kind of question. I mean, what's harder, implementing new strategies, new schemes on offense or defense, or trying to keep those males off of the other side of Farmville over at Longwood?
I don't know. I don't think the scheme matters what you do. It's about your players, and if you have good players, your scheme doesn't matter. And we think we have really good players here, so we're hoping that takes care of itself.
Getting to a more of a serious question, how is your quarterback situation looking this year?
Really good. I mean, Carter had a really good year last year. I think he threw 22 touchdowns through 4 interceptions, and he was 3rd team all ODAC. And be honest with you, we opened the quarterback competition in the spring. It's and we made them compete for it. We think we have some talented guys that were freshmen last year. One played in that last game, and the other one missed the whole year because he had a preseason injury right before camp. But Carter, he came back this fall, really took control of the starting job. Really happy with how he's progressed. It helps when we have the wideouts we have too. I mean, people probably forget this, but we have the best player in the ODAC coming back and missed all last year, Mason Cunningham. He tore his ACL in preseason camp last year, and he looks as good as he did before. You can't even tell. And then Manning Lasso, came on real strong at the end of the year. It was a UNC Charlotte transfer, was second team All ODAC as a freshman. The other guys have stepped up. We have a transfer wide receiver from ECU, McCallum Wright, who's in. Him and Manning were high school teammates. McCallum's dad went to Hampden-Sydney. So it's pretty easy to play quarterback here when you have the wideouts that we have too. So.
How important is it having Terry Hicks back as well at running backs, where you take off, help the quarterback there throwing the ball. You can run the game if you need to too.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, Terry Hicks is the best running back in the ODAC, and he looks good. He is explosive. He's great in pass protection. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He is a load as an inside runner, and he can run away from people. Terry sprained his ankle in that Brevard game last year early in the year and missed the center game. And really didn't get healthy until that Bridgewater game. And you saw he ripped some pretty big runs and ended the game there with it. So just keeping Terry healthy, if we can keep Terry healthy, we'll be pretty good on offense.
Coach, you always hear like in SEC play, the trenches. That's what's most important. That's where you win championships. How important is the trenches in the D3 level as well? I mean, you see teams like Macon who have those big boys up front. How much have you paid attention to as far as like recruiting and kind of scouting that area as well?
Yeah, I mean, we have 30 freshmen. We have 30 offensive linemen. In our program right now. We run 17 freshman offensive linemen. Big emphasis. Thomas Wilson and Cash DePinko were D3 freshman All-Americans last year on the offensive line for us, and I think Thomas is as good of an offensive lineman as there is in Division III, and I don't think Cash is that far behind him. And, we get Will Stimmel back, who was a captain for us last year, who unfortunately against WNL last year tore his ACL for the third time. And he's back. And, we feel really good about our offensive line. Jacob Pressinger started that last game at right tackle for us as a freshman's back, and we brought a really good freshman class, as I talked about with the especially on the offensive line side. And it's important. I mean, you need, those offensive linemen. It's a car crash sometimes inside there. So you need them all by the end of the year. And when we got here, we talked about we were going to build it through the offensive line, and we continue to do that. And, Max Beal, our offensive line coach, offensive coordinator, has done a great job developing those guys, and really excited what we have. We're really, and they're big too, which is always a good thing.
Coach, I know Caleb probably runs around on campus every day and he talks about me and how we're best friends and stuff like that. I'm sure he does. And, in all seriousness, I just wanted to find out, what kind of relationship is it between you and, not just Caleb, but the other coaches on campus and, the camaraderie. Speaking of, me and my son, our youngest son, Devin, we went to the Hampden-Sydney, I'll never think of Pitt Bradford game there last year during basketball. And Gregor, you're going to have to help me here. Duluth, is that the coach that's down at
Guilford?
Yeah, went to Guilford.
Yeah.
And he said the first thing that before the start of the second game that Caleb walked over to him and basically, Caleb has got to get ready for a game himself and just walks up to him and says, "Hey coach, congratulations on your," I'm assuming it was his first NCAA win, and just trying to find out, how that works between you guys.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb and I are really close. I mean, we're neighbors. I bounce a lot of ideas off Caleb. He actually talked to the team. So we were, practice, 4 and 5 were a little sluggish, and I asked Caleb to come out and watch practice and be like, "What do you think's wrong?" I think, and he gave us some really good feedback on some of the stuff. And, I'm always, bouncing ideas off Caleb, and he's into a national final. I mean, he's a pretty good guy to bounce some coaching ideas off of. But I think the whole athletic department here is pretty close as well. Like Mike Mulvey, our baseball coach, Mike and I are actually both from Pittsburgh. So, and then, all the other coaches, Jay Ross and the lacrosse coach and stuff, we're all friends. But yeah, Caleb's been awesome. He helps, he gives me as much advice as anyone, because he's as successful as anyone. I think he's one of the best basketball coaches in the country. And he's a really good person too. And he wants to help. He wants, I think the great thing about Hampden-Sydney is everyone's here for the same reason. They want the school to be the best, institution in the country. And, there isn't really any egos when it comes to that. And everyone's great to work with here.
Well, I'm gonna be the first to tell you that I have not visited every school and don't even pretend that way. I see Averett quite a bit because I live in Danville, but a kid that is interested in Hampden-Sydney needs to seriously tour that campus. And if it comes down to a competition between you guys and somebody else, they seriously need to tour your campus because the facilities that you guys have are second to none. I mean, it's an absolutely beautiful campus and beautiful facilities.
Yeah, I mean, that's recruiting. That's what we tell guys, just come check it out. It's all guys school in Farmville, Virginia. It's a lot better than what it sounds like, right? But no, once we get them here, it makes it a lot easier. And, it's such a great place to live and go to school. And everyone here is, there isn't a person on this campus that you talk to and you're like, turns you off on the place. Everyone's here is so genuine. It's a pretty cool place.
Coach, I think you're a defensive side of the ball type of guy or coach in the past. How excited are you, or what are your expectations having back, Clark and Brewer, your linebackers, and also having Grace Franklin there? I think there were 2, 3, and 4 as far as tackles on the team as well.
Yeah, we're really excited. I think I hope we're better on defense, but we also get Max Pickering back who tore his ACL against WNL too. That really hurt us last year defensively. We get, James Townsend, I think is as talented as anyone at corner. Parks Cromwell started every game for us, except for the Avery game he was hurt. The other corner is a freshman. Keevy missed the beginning part of the year. He hurt his knee in preseason. He came back. I think his first game was against Ferrum last year. So and we moved him from running back to safety. So it was really his first time playing defense. So just getting a whole offseason of him learning how to play safety and stuff, because he closes space like no other. He's not afraid to go get the ball. And, we get some guys, we built some depth on the defensive line, which is, an area we thought we struggled at a little bit last year. So really encouraged by it. But, having probably Robert, we lost him late in the year last year to, an injury, and getting him back, and he's great leadership skills on that side of the ball. And he kind of keeps everything when things are going bad. He can kind of keep everyone calm out there. So just having him back, it's going to be huge for us. And, Frank, he got thrown in when Max got hurt, and, probably had to play a little bit earlier than we needed him to play. He probably wasn't quite ready yet, but he learned, and he did a really good job, finished the year real strong. And, we're expecting big things out of all those guys come this season.
Coach, I don't believe in setting the bar low whatsoever, so I don't want it to come out this way. But, I know I'm assuming that an ODAC championship is first and foremost on the radar, and then, getting a bid into the playoffs. But how important, and I assume it's the next two teams that don't make the playoffs, how important, and I'm assuming it's still being done, the Chesapeake Bowls or whatever these guys call it. I mean, how important is that to you as for our staff and for the guys actually playing ball?
Yeah, I mean, we have one goal of the football program, it's win a national title. And that is it. We don't talk about it. We try to be about it. And, bowl games are rewards for having a good season. They're not, we don't focus on them. We don't ever talk about them. It's a reward for having a good season. But, for us, everything we do here, we think we can win a national title here, and that's what we're working towards. And, to do that, we have to focus on every day. And, right now we're just focused on today. I couldn't, tell you, who we play. I just, focused on today, and we're trying to get ready for September 6th. And, we're working towards that goal. But yeah, we don't, their reward, if we get to one of those, we'll be happy. We'll be disappointed though, also at the same time.
Coach, what's the identity you want this team to kind of take on this year going into year two?
You know what? That's up to our guys. I tell them all the time, it's their team. I don't play. They don't want me to play. We'll take this as far as they want it to go. I think we have great senior leadership. We really, we try to hit what our DNA traits are here. And, we talk about being a champion, and, if we want to win a championship, we got to have championship qualities off the field first. And that's really what we're working towards. And, it's a daily process, and we're just focused on us every day. And, it's you versus you every day. Do you look in the mirror, and are you the best version of yourself, even when you don't have it? And so that's really what we're working towards.
Coach, unless we caught you on a different day or the wrong day, I watched you during the game, and you were as calm and cool as a cucumber. How do you do this? I mean, if you need somebody to run up and down the sideline and rip roar and yell, scream, I can help you. But how do you do it? I mean, it didn't matter what kind of play it was, how successful you guys were, or if something turned into a fumble or negative play. You still the same guy. How do you maintain that?
You just got to be you, I guess. I don't know. It's football is an emotional game. Sometimes emotions can get in your way. If you've ever met me before, I'm not the most outgoing. That's what my wife's for. But I don't know. It's just that's me. We've guys that can do that. That was never me as a player. But also, if things are going bad and you're losing your mind as a head coach or even an assistant coach, the other players are going to feed off that. The players are going to feed off that, right? They're going to see you doing it, and they're going to start doing it. So we try to keep my emotions out there. I don't know if I'm that calm. I probably yell at the officials a little bit too much. I need to cut back on that. But it's I'm just me, and I don't try to be anyone else.
Coach, I want to look at this year's schedule, 2025 schedule. We open up at Delaware Valley and play Washington Jefferson that second week, like you talked about. How much control do you have of the non-conference schedule, and do you plan in the future to continue playing, playoff teams in the for your non-conference games?
The Delaware Valley game was scheduled before I got here. I scheduled the W&J game. We're going to play Wabash College the next 2 years. Week 1, we play them 2 on, 2 off every year. It's a gentleman's classic. They're the other all-male school in the country. And then we'll play Monmouth College the next 2 years here, then there. And, they're as good as anyone. They're picked to win their league this year. And we think we're really good, talented, and we want to test ourselves. We want to be tested before we go into ODAC play because it's a tough league like you guys talked about. And we want to see where we're at. We think we've done a really good job developing the guys, and we think we've recruited really good players, and we think the guys have done a really good job pushing themselves. And I think we're playing as tough of a non-conference schedule as anyone in the country. I mean, we're playing the 2 best programs in Pennsylvania to start the year. Delaware Valley's one is as winning as anyone, and W&J is the 3rd most wins in the country and the 2nd most NCAA playoff appearances. So we're going to be tested off the jump, and then we got Shenandoah, I think, to be the first ODAC game. So, I mean, we're going to be tested. Those first 3 games are not going to be easy, but we're going to know what type of football team we are out of those. And if we want to win a national title, we got to play the best, and that's what we're committed to doing here.
Are you, I guess in your eyes, are you on course for, I guess, are you ahead of schedule from what you thought you might be, or behind, or where do you stand in coach's mind?
I don't know. I'll find out like you will. I think we're talented, but that doesn't mean anything. Like we had our first team meeting, and I think I told the guys I think we're really talented, but if we don't work and if we don't do the work the right way, it doesn't matter, right? Because work always works, and so we have a lot of work to do to get to where we want to go, and talent's not going to get us there. So we have to focus every day on us and how we can continually improve, because you only get better or worse. You never stay the same. And And we got to prove it. We haven't proved anything yet. We're a young football team that we got to go out and prove it, and every week, and we got to go take it. And that's what growing up's about too. So.
Well, I appreciate you texting me and letting me know about those transfers and everything, because I mean there was a reason why I picked. I was thinking going number one. I thought about preseason number one, but we'll get there. We'll get there after a couple games. I promise.
It's all right. We'll post it in the locker room.
Coach, last one for me. What is a successful year for Coach Luvara and the Hampden-Sydney Tigers? Or what do you do to be successful this year?
I think as long as we're getting better, we're growing. I think it's success. You're probably going to ask me that question in 40 years, and I'll probably tell you if we had a successful year with what our guys are doing. I don't know. And like I said, as long as we're competing, we're going out, we're playing our best, and we're playing hard. I don't care about the results. If we're doing everything the right way, the results are going to take care of themselves. If we're not, we're going to see results we're not happy with. And we're not a results-based program here. We're process-oriented, and we're going to stick to our process. And I like to answer your question. Probably everyone wants to go A to Z. Everyone wants to know about A, and they're obsessed with Z. But everyone forgets B through Y. We're focused on B through Y here. So Z is going to take care of itself if we focus on B through Y. And like we talked when we were 26 days out, I don't know what we're like letter L right now, right? We're 13 days from our first game. So we're just focused on that process to September 6th. And then after September 6th, we're going to restart the whole thing back over again for the next week. So that's what success looks like for us. I'm probably not the answer you're looking for, but that's who we are.
Well, Coach, I just want to tell you, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, we can't thank Hampden-Sydney enough. Your program, as well as Caleb's program, they've kind of brought us along. I wouldn't say necessarily we've been adopted by Hampden-Sydney, but they've helped us out in so many instances as far as attending games and being so cordial. And what a fantastic university. And I thank you guys so much for everything that y'all do for us.
No problem. I know, it goes back to the people here. So.
Well, you heard it here from Coach Vince Luvara, the head coach of the Hampden-Sydney Tigers, going to his second season. They open up the season September 6th at Delaware Valley there in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Heck of a home schedule this year, so get out there and see the Tigers play. Coach, we appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.